Hey everybody, it's John with Foodscaping Utah. It's early May and we're getting started thinning our fruit trees. It's a little bit early for a lot of your fruit trees. This is a aprium though, and as you can see, the fruit's already starting to get big, and it's really loaded with fruit. We thin fruit trees for many reasons, but the biggest one for us is it helps the tree put more energy into each piece of fruit. So you end up with more delicious, sweeter fruit, and usually larger fruit too. The other reasons, if you have this much fruit, a lot of times you can end up with broken branches when it's all packed in there. So the way that we thin our fruit is we shoot for about one piece of fruit every 6 inches. And it sounds easy, but we actually have to do it a number of times because you think, oh, I've thinned, and then you come back out and then sometimes it looks like you still haven't even thinned the fruit. So it's really important to thin things like peaches and nectarines if they have a heavy fruit load, but we also thin apples and pears, shooting for something like that. If you look at this fruit tree, this aprium really is going to have trouble ripening all of this fruit, and once these get larger, it's going to really weigh down these branches. So our window is starting to close on this tree. You want to get to the fruit before they're an inch big if you can. Half an inch, 3/4 of an inch is usually when we try to thin. So what we're going to do is just start taking off a bunch of these. With stone fruit like this, we kind of just twist them. And then so we've got one here. This one I'm going to thin too even. That you can twist or bend and then they come off. So we're going to leave that one, but we're going to thin all of these. And you know, you can pick the biggest one as you're thinning too. I don't know if you can see that one too well, but it's a big one. And apricots, you don't necessarily have to thin. People usually don't thin apricots or cherries. This is an aprium, so it's an apricot plum hybrid. So this is probably a little closer than you want. See, I'm more shooting for this. So that's really well thinned. Let's see. I'm gonna leave this big one here though and take these off. But like I said, it takes some time. So we're going through, taking all these off. And then, you know, I'll work it once or twice. Holly will work it a couple of times, and then we'll come back. And that's one reason that we're getting started today, because it won't be long before the peaches and nectarines need thinning, and also the apples and pears are already starting to size up. So watch for when they're a 1/2 inch, and that's when you can get started, 1/2 inch to an inch. So last year on our nectarine, we probably thinned off about 800 pieces of fruit. It sounds incredible, but it really is, and you want to leave about 100. But as long as you stick with the one every 6 inches, that provides a nice balance between energy for this year's fruit. And then another benefit of thinning is it allows the tree to start to producing buds for next year's crop. So if you've had trouble with alternate bearing, like on apple trees, that can happen. Thinning can really help with that, balance the crop, so you don't have a ton of fruit one year and hardly any next year. So get out there and thin your fruit trees. Thanks for watching Foodscaping Utah, and grow your own.